Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Sarah Cowgill, Andrew Moran, Keelan Ferris, and Dave Patterson. And this is the Conservative 5, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Folks on the conservative side call him gaffer-in-chief. President Joe Biden's history of random and inappropriate comments may finally have caught up with him. But the deeper issue here is that every time he speaks off the cuff, these people come running with an odd explanation of, quote, what the president really meant, unquote. On a diplomatic junket in Eastern Europe, it seems the president suggested a regime change in Russia. But wait, he really didn't mean that. Or if those were his words, they were only personal opinions. Sheesh. Dave, is this constant gaffe machine rapidly getting us into international hot water?
Wow, I mean, you used Biden, gaffe, and referred to credibility in the same sentence. That is really working the sentences. You know, the White House National Security Staff, I mean, they've had to walk back the president's comments so much it gives, new meaning to the term moonwalking. But with respect to credibility, I think that the president's national security team gave up any claim to credibility after the Afghanistan debacle. I mean, the ham-handed, disastrous withdrawal. I don't think they're ever going to get back up on the step after that. I mean, that's going to follow them until they're simply a footnote in history. And, everything that's happened since, I mean, it's just gilding on the gaffe-laden lily, really. All of Biden's gaffes and inartful explanations, I mean, they happen every day. It's becoming passé, actually. One thing I think people need to pay attention to, in President Biden's State of the Union address, he did say something that has proven over and over to be very true. The president looked right into the camera lens and said, in all seriousness, all Americans, I will be honest with you. He's lying. It's almost a rule in psychological counseling. When someone feels that they must tell you that they are telling you the truth, they aren't telling you the truth.
Sarah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on between him and his staff. I mean, this is so embarrassing. He utters a phrase that's not on the teleprompter. And by the way, he had scripted answers to prepared questions. It's just, this is politics 0.0 as far as I'm concerned.
Candidates, electeds that believe they're the smartest person in the room because they've been told by the yes men and women that they're the smartest person in the room. They sometimes like to go off script, and because they're the smartest person in the room. And this is what happens.
Says the former speechwriter. Yeah.
Yes. But that was the most, like when your candidate or when you're elected starts wandering down a random path and you're like, stick to the script. Because when they stick to the script, you got your points covered. When they go off like he does, and it's a quick flash of temper, like somebody ticked him off, and then he says Putin should not be in power. I mean, that's suggesting that somebody wants to take him out. I mean, and that might be what people are thinking everywhere, but the president of the United States cannot say that unless he's going to do that, and he cannot say that. And then he has to have the whole world try to walk back his flapping jaw, and it's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing for American people to have to go, that's my president, when they see him do things like that.
Andrew, it's a gaffe a day. I mean, it's just crazy. And the fact that they prolong the gaffe because then they walk back the gaffe, and then he sort of comes back and says, no, that's really what I meant. And it's kind of a taffy pull going on.
Well, I think the entire administration is just one big gaffe. I don't think it's President Biden alone who's this gaffer. I mean, everything that's coming out of this administration policy-wise is just one big blunder every single time. And if you want to talk about gaffes too, I mean, the Democrats like to pretend that there's this racial unity party, but a lot of things that Biden has said in the past when it comes to race is just downright racist. When he said that, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And, black people are not as diverse as Hispanic people, as you reported last year, Lisa. So everything he says is just complete nonsense, but especially the economics front. I mean, I wish he would just stand back and, put forward different policies on the economic front. One of his biggest gaffes probably, which the entire Washington establishment was when he said inflation's transitory. What happens? A year later, you have, 40-year high inflation rate. You got 8% inflation. Gasoline's at $4 a gallon. So everything from Harris to Biden to Brian Deese to Cecilia Rose, they're all one giant gaffe machines.
Keelan, read the room for us as far as your friends and Romans and countrymen and the younger set. What's their take on this? Are we making too much of this? They don't notice it. It's not in their purview. What's the give me the gimme?
For those people my age who care about politics and keep up with it, if you're a Democrat and you voted for Joe Biden, you kind of just act like it's not happening. You kind of act like the cheat sheets aren't a thing, that maybe they're fake, or because that's my favorite, that he gets the cheat sheets to give a 10, 15-minute press conference. And, I've got to give a 25 presentation on a paper I wrote, but I don't get a cheat sheet. But he's the president of the United States, and he's got, the bullet points and in the first person, I said this, not this. But, half of the people my age notice it and are like, are you guys not seeing this? And then the other half are like, nope, we're not seeing it at all.
Well, that's really interesting. So probably among your set, it leans a little more left. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not wrong. I would say the Generation Z is primarily, not even necessarily pro Joe Biden. A lot of them do recognize his downfalls and his flaws, but there's still blind support.
Wow, even with all the economic things going on, gas, food, beef, chicken, bacon, the whole bit, they're still behind him, right? Yeah,
well, when you watch CNN and MSNBC and they tell you it's not Joe Biden's fault, and they also throw in that, hey, but we're going to take away your student loan debt. Just wait, it's coming. That's what keeps them on the hook. It's the empty promises and that haven't been fulfilled for years.
Wow,
wait till Joe Biden takes away their parents' basement. Then you'll see an uproar.
Well, Keelan, I'm fascinated by that. So your friends still think that eliminating student loan debt is the right course of action policy-wise?
Oh, 100%. People say it in a joking manner and a serious manner that it has to be done because it'll only add I think it's a little less than $2 trillion to the totaling U.S. debt. But people still believe it's going to happen. I mean, I would not be shocked if that's something they pull out of their back pocket. And maybe it's not a full wipeout, but at least enough to entertain people and get them to the, voting booths. But yeah, people still think they never stop believing that that's the right answer for student loans, that we just need to forget it all happened and, forgive everybody.
Just explore this a little bit more now that we have a second. So that's coming from your friends that are lefties, but I would think that your friends that are on the right are really hardcore. I mean, these people are dialed in, they know what's going on, and they feel strongly about their politics. Am I right about the conservative right in the younger set?
Oh yeah. And a lot of my more right-leaning friends, they post on social media. They're like, you guys are nuts. You're clueless. How are you not seeing this? Posting on social media, their own Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn. How are you guys not seeing what's going on? And nobody on the left really wants to acknowledge it. But my friends who are conservatives, have even stronger beliefs than I do. They are hardcore. And a lot of them actually, went to school for business or finance or hospitality. And some of them are starting to talk to me about, hey, I want to get involved in politics. I might be moving back to Washington because I just can't take it anymore. And my country's, headed in the wrong direction and I want to get involved.
So when you're with your friends who are Democrats and Republicans, when you go to a pub together, are you the debate moderator? Do you ask questions and say, hey, follow up on this, or what do you think of this? Yeah.
I would say my Republican friends or conservative friends and myself, we don't bring up politics because a lot of my friends aren't super active in politics, which I don't understand how you can't be. But, we just don't bring it up. I'm able to have a civil conversation. I know, and I'm friends with a lot of people that can't have a civil conversation. But yeah, if we go out to dinner or whatever, or out for drinks, no one's bringing up politics, which is great because sometimes I feel like it's overwhelming and, everything is political. But no one's really, getting into slap fests or, fist fights over politics.
Well,
It's amazing how this segment about Biden turned into an interrogation of Keelan's social life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we invited her, Andrew.
Yeah, we sort of made a right turn there, but we're all fascinated with the younger generation, Keelan. You guys, we're dependent on you. But as far as the gaffe's concerned, another day, another gaffe, we'll be counting them for you and reporting on them as need be. Thanks for watching the Conservative Five, and thanks panel, and thanks Keelan for the window on the youth of today. That's it for our Conservative Five panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble. We're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, surf on over to libertynation.com. Join us on the Member Zone, just $17.76 for the year. And special thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank DiOrio, and our executive producer, Sarah Cowgill. I'm Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.